Hi, I'm Pat Baer, and this is a very special bonus episode of Pat Baer's Anime Club. This is my voting guide for the 2025 Anime Awards. Crunchyroll's putting these on, and they have voting set up until 11:59 p.m. Pacific Time on April 14th. So it's a small window from the time that this is being recorded. I'm recording this mere hours after the nominees were posted. This year, we're also a big change here. I'm saying weird. They made a big change, so we're going to be talking about that big change. Previously, it had been the fall season of the year before through the summer season of the previous year, if that makes any sense. So it would have been, let's say, normally it would have been the fall 2023 season, and then the winter, spring, and summer 2024 season would have been eligible. They are moving towards a full year, so the award will be the previous 4 seasons for voting of the previous year. So that means this year, voting includes fall 2023 and then winter, spring, summer, and fall 2024. It was a important, necessary change because what ended up happening is a lot of fall seasons fell by the wayside because people didn't think about those. And then also the fall season wouldn't get recognized the next year because just the way voting ended up. Or you also had some shows that got nominated for things and then they didn't even finish. Like Zom 100 got nominated and that show didn't even air in its normal full time because the nominations were closing before that was possible, or before people just assumed all episodes would come out, and then they didn't. So while I think this is going to be frustrating for the fall 2023 shows that may have gotten snubbed, I do think that it is important to honor them. And then also, any show that was fall 2023 and then winter 2024, well, the big show of that double season got nominated anyway, so we're okay. That was a lot. Let's go to the categories. We got at least one new one. There'll be a couple that I can't vote for. I'm here on the crunchyroll.com/anime awards. There's a couple I can't vote for because my native language set on Crunchyroll is English. So I can only vote on the voice acting performances in Japanese and English. And I cannot vote on other regional languages. But you know, that's okay. We'll talk about the winners later when that happens. And let's get into it because you maybe want to know some things about these shows. I'll go through all of the ones that have been nominated, and then I'm going to give myself my pick, and we'll go through that. So let's start with Anime of the Year. Again, fall 2023 through 2024. We've got Dan Dadan, Delicious in Dungeon, Frieren, The Apothecary Diaries, Solo Leveling, and Kaiju Number 8. Is there any show that I think should have been nominated? Oshinoko Season 2 probably should have been nominated for Anime of the Year. Maybe Windbreaker. Maybe you could make an argument that Demon Slayer, the last Demon Slayer arc, or perhaps you could make an argument for One Piece. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But yeah, I understand these 6 nominations. I came late to Apothecary Diaries, but I'm on board now. I'm going to give it to Frieren. That was my favorite anime of 2024. So, and my second favorite of 2023. So I gotta give it up to Frieren. I think Frieren is a no-brainer for Anime of the Year. So I'm going to click vote, and then you're going to see enter your email or phone number to vote. So I am not going to be voting now. You can see that, you know, my username. So I am not doing all of that. I will be voting after, but I will tell you which one I would be voting for. And then I will go through and do the voting anyway. All right, so we're going to move on to our next category, which is Film of the Year. And our nominees are Haikyuu, The Dumpster Battle, Look Back, Mononoke the Movie, The Phantom in the Rain, The Colors Within, Spy Family Code White, and My Hero Academia, You're Next. Are there any that should have been nominated that weren't within that period? I don't think so. I'll say I'm not super up on films. I have seen half of these. Of the 3 that I saw, my favorite was Look Back. It did make my top 10 for 2024. The first movie that's ever made my top 10 list for a year. I think it's phenomenal. Is it better? I did like, but I didn't love Dumpster Battle. I think it's a good movie for Haikyuu. And I did see the Spy Family movie. I didn't see the My Hero or Mononoke the movie, which I've heard very good things about, or The Colors Within, which I've also heard very good things about, but I would be voting for Look Back. Moving on to Best Continuing Series. Bleach, Thousand Year Blood War, The Conflict, Demon Slayer, the last training arc here, My Hero Academia Season 7, One Piece, just continuing series One Piece, Oshinoko Season 2, and Spy Family Season 2, which again, fall 2023 stuff moves into that, because it does feel kind of old at this point. I do think that this Bleach adaptation has been very strong and visually really arresting. I think Demon Slayer ended on a high. My Hero Academia has been hitting real hard. I think the manga was really strong, and the anime adaptation has been very good for that. One Piece has been great. Spy Family was fun, maybe not as fun as Season 1. And Oshinoko Season 2, I think, was fantastic. Especially for Doga Kobo, who I am not the biggest fan of as a studio these days. I'm going to give it to Bleach, because I just think this adaptation is phenomenal and people aren't really talking about it. But I do think that it's really good, and I do think it's the best continuing series. But I could also see One Piece picking this up. Best New Series: Dandadan, Delicious in Dungeon, Frieren, The Apothecary Diaries, Solo Leveling, and Kaiju Number 8. This does not include Solo Leveling Season 2, which will be part of the 2020, or which will be part of next year's voting, because it's in 2024 or 5. You get what I'm saying. Now, I would say I would probably put Dragon Ball Daima in there, because it does count. It started at the end of 2024, or so, yeah. Yeah, so I think that should have been included, because I don't know if the second half will get included next year. These are all of the 6 nominees for Anime of the Year, which makes sense. I know Solo Leveling is unbelievably popular, especially Season 2, so that could influence it and give him that award where they didn't get the full season award, but for me, it's still Frieren. God, it's still Frieren. It's obviously still Frieren. Best Original Anime, Buchigiri, Girls Band Cry, Jellyfish Can't Swim in the Night, Train to the End of the World, Ninja Kaimyu, and Metallic Rogue. I can't think of off the top of my head an original that didn't end up on this list that I think should be on this list. I guess for me, if I was going to pick one, none of these ended up on my top 10. I guess Whisper Me a Love Song to me, is my favorite original. I think Whisper Me... Ooh, wait. Actually, Whisper Me a Love Song might not be an original, so I might be wrong here. Wait. Is Whisper Me a Love Song a manga? It is. Okay. So, that doesn't count. I'm wrong. There's another category where I would like to see that show up. I guess I'm going to go with Girls Band Cry. I enjoyed that quite a bit. I think that's a good original. Yeah, I don't know if there's anything else that should have been on this list, but we'll go with Girls Band Cry. Best Animation: Dandadan, Delicious in Dungeon, Demon Slayer, Solo Leveling, Kaiju Number 8, and Frieren. Any of these could win this. I think maybe Solo Leveling has a lot of high highs and some low lows to balance it. I think Dandadan is incredibly expressive, is really awesome, just looks unbelievable. Maybe I would have liked to see Oshinoko nominated for this, because I do think Season 2 takes some big swings, and I appreciate that. Frieren is much like the series. Sometimes the scenes are incredibly vivid, and other times they're pretty chill. I think Delicious in Dungeon has a good look throughout. I think Demon Slayer has its highs. I think I would give it to Dan because I think Dan is just really visually exciting and it's just great to look at. So I guess I would go with Science Sorrow on that one. Best character design: Dan, Delicious in Dungeon, Demon Slayer, Apothecary Diaries, Kaiju Number 8, and Frieren. So for me, it's a no-brainer Dan because I think it's of these 6, this is the most visually interesting, and the character designs are messy and sometimes gross. And I think I don't think best character design has to be visually beautiful. I think it can be just weird and cool. And I think that Science Saru is the perfect studio for Dan. And I think it just turns out phenomenal. I love Frieren, but I think the character designs are not a strong suit in Frieren. I think there are some characters, minor characters, that look very samey, if I was going to give a knock to the series, which is, again, my second favorite anime of 2023 and my favorite anime of 2024. So, you know. I mean, Demon Slayer always looks good, but I'm going to go with Dan on this one. Best Director, Fuga Yamashiro. Fugu Yamashiro for Dan. If I mess up any of these names, my apologies. I did practice these. We'll see how I do. Haro Sotozaki. Haro Sotozaki for Demon Slayer. Kinichiro Saito for Frieren. Megumi Ishitani for One Piece Fan Letter, which was a TV special that's very fun while One Piece was on a break. Norihiro Naganuma for The Apothecary Diaries, and Yoshihiro Mijami for Trigger. Trigger's Delicious in Dungeon. I would say my dear friend Nokutan should have been a nomination for Best Director because that show is bizarre and weird, and direction makes that show work. But if that can't be, I mean, Madhouse nailed it, but you've got to give credit where credit's due. This show could have been too slow. They could have sped it up and cut down a bunch of stuff. And lost the vibe, so you want to give credit wherever you can, including Best Director for Frieren Beyond Journey's End. Best Background Art. This is a weird one. This is a weird category. I guess we could hit info and it'll give... I'll read this. I'm not going to do it for all of these, but I'll read this. This category celebrates the exceptional skill and artistry needed to craft in detailed, atmospheric, and often breathtaking environments that serve as the backdrop of anime narratives. These backdrops are crucial in setting the tone, mood, and setting of a series, enhancing the storytelling experience with their visual depth and intricate design, bringing anime to life. Yeah, I mean, Dan, Delicious in Dungeon, Demon Slayer, Apothecary Diaries, Pluto, and Frieren Beyond Journey's End. Pluto getting its first nomination here. Those backgrounds do look unbelievable. I mean, Frieren is so open and wild. Dahlia in Bloom, I would have loved to see get a nomination here because I don't think anyone will be talking about Dahlia in Bloom, which was one of my favorite isekai from the 2024 season, along with Villainous Level 99. And a little bit of a nod there to the many or Shangri-La, which I don't love as an anime. I think those backgrounds are very expressive and really set the tone for the series. I guess I would go with Dan or Frieren. I would be happy. I mean, I would be happy with any of these. Apothecary Diaries, I don't necessarily buy into, but I think Dan, Delicious in Dungeon, Demon Slayer, Frieren, I think those are all great choices. I would probably go with Frieren or Dan myself. Best Romance. A Sign of Affection, Blue Box, Makai, Too Many Losing Heroines, The Dangers in My Heart Season 2, Scott Pilgrim Takes Off. That is a fall 2023, so I guess, and Ranma 1/2, the 2024 reboot of Ranma 1/2. So of these nominated, I think I would go with Ranma 1/2. Do I think that there's an anime? Villainous Level 99 is a lovely romance series. It is an isekai. It's an action series. But the romance is so poignant and interesting because it features a main character who starts to kind of understand, oh, I don't really relate to people that well. But it's still a love story. I think that it's great, and I would love to see that nominated. A Sign of Affection is going to win this one. I don't particularly enjoy it. I think it's very cloying, and I don't think it's particularly good. Also, 365 Days to the Wedding. Would have loved to seen that on this list because that is my favorite romantic show of 2024. So I would have loved to seen 365 Days to the Wedding get the nom for that. It didn't. That's a shame. I'll say my vote goes to Ranma 1/2 because Scott Pilgrim does have romance in it, but to me that's not why you're watching Takes Off. But it is an anime. I have the video where I tell you that. So A Sign of Affection is probably going to win. I don't think it's particularly that good. There's some other stuff that probably people are yelling about, but I think it was kind of a weak year myself. Best Comedy. Delicious in Dungeon, which is funny, but I wouldn't call it a comedy myself. Konosuba, that's a comedy. I just don't particularly like Konosuba. Mashle, that is a comedy. This was the Divine Visionary candidate exam arc. Spy Family Season 2, that is a comedy. Ranma 1/2, definitely a comedy. It's a comedy with action. That's what I always say about that. And My Dear Friend Nokotan, which wins this category hands down because it is so weird and so funny and great. I love My Dear Friend Nokotan. I think it is great. I think Noko is hysterical and it's weird and fun and just great vibes throughout. Great theme song as well. But yeah, that's my favorite comedy of the year for sure. Best Action: Bleach, 1,000-Year Blood War, Dan to Dan, Demon Slayer, Windbreaker, Solo Leveling, and Kaiju Number 8. I guess you could maybe argue that Dan to Dan should have been in the comedy category because it wasn't, right? It was not nominated for comedy. I would have put Dan to Dan in there as a comedy. So Bleach, the action is phenomenal. It's a fantastic. Looked just so good. Dan to Dan, vivid and phenomenal and action. Demon Slayer, it's fucking Demon Slayer. Windbreaker is really good. Windbreaker also, maybe you could argue for best comedy because the juxtaposition of the fights and the goofiness and all that. If you don't like character monologues in the middle of fights, then you probably won't like Windbreaker, but I think it's great. Solo Leveling, Season 2 has better action, in my opinion, than Season 1, but Season 1 is still really good. And Kaiju Number 8, great story, also a silly show with a lot of cool fighting. I think any of these winning would be great. I could see Demon Slayer winning because it's not winning a lot. People are familiar with it. Whereas I don't know if a lot of people... I know people saw Kaiju Number 8 and Windbreaker. I don't know if enough people to vote for this saw those. Bleach, I don't think is winning. Best Isekai Anime. This is a new category this year. Konosuba, A God's Blessing on This Wonderful World, Season 3. Mushoku Tensei, Jobless Reincarnation, Season 2, Part 2. ReZero, Starting Life in Another World, Season 3, which is continuing on in 2025. Shangri-La Frontier, Season 2, which is, to me, does not count, is not an isekai. I do not think it's an isekai. This is a VR MMO game anime. Suicide Squad isekai, and That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime, Season 3, which I'm happy was nominated. It was in my top 15 anime of last year. ReZero, I think, will win for next year because I think this half of the season is way stronger than the previous half. So I think it'll get nominated in 2025 for 2026 for 2025, the year we're in now. Konosuba, I feel like, I don't agree with it as it's not my favorite. My favorite isekai of last year is probably Dahlia in Bloom or Villainous Level 99. I think both of those are way better than anything here. I have a lot of problems with Jobless Reincarnation. The very concept of the execution, I think, is phenomenal. It could have been nominated for Best Action and probably should have been, because their magic systems, the animation for the magic systems is unbelievably good. But yeah, I don't know. That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime Season 3 is fun. Suicide Squad Isekai I don't think is particularly that great in any regard, other than the theme from Mori Calliope, which is pretty great. So yeah, and again, I don't think this is an isekai. I would not. Any chart does not consider it an isekai. I don't also. So any list, I should say, and any chart don't consider this an isekai. I don't either, and I don't think it should have been nominated. I think they should have said, actually, that's not an isekai. Sorry, the panel of people that do nominees, you're wrong. Best Drama: A Sign of Affection, Dead Demons Destruction, Frieren, Apothecary Diaries, Pluto, and Oshinoko Season 2. I think Oshinoko Season 2, the drama is good, the mystery is better. I don't know if that's part of the drama of it. I'm going with Frieren. I could see Apothecary Diaries pulling this out because Frieren is winning other bigger awards. A Sign of Affection, yeah, it's a drama, yeah. But I think Frieren just rules, and so I want to give it to Frieren. Best Slice of Life: Laid Back Camp Season 3, Too Many Losing Heroines, Mr. Villain's Day Off, which that's nominated. Okay, yeah, sure, all right. The Dangers in My Heart Season 2, Sound Euphoria 3, nice to see that get nominated for something, and My Dear Friend Nokotan, which I guess is a slice of life. So for me, in my heart, it's My Friend Nokotan. Laid Back Camp probably wins on name recognition, although I think Season 3 is not that great. They switched 8-bit. I do not think has it. I do not think they are a good studio, and there's a lot of real photos with a light dusting of some studio or some effects in the background, After Effects in the background. The backgrounds, I think, are garbage. In the animation, there's not a lot of moving around. It's saved by the voice acting, but it's a real slog. So I'm going to go with My Dear Friend Nokotan, which, again, is a slice of life. I don't know, but it's really funny and fun. And I think it should win Best Slice of Life. Although I would be happy with Sound Euphoria. I think that would be neat too. Best Main Character: Frieren, Kafka, Momo, Sung Ji-woo, Mao Mao, and Okuran. I think Okuran and Momo are going to split the vote for them. I could see Frieren picking this up. Because Solo Leveling Season 2 was such a massive hit, and it was. This is a phenomenal hit this year. I could see, because Solo Leveling 2 was so big, that Jinwoo winning for Solo Leveling. I could see that. But in my heart, it's Frieren, because I think she just rules. Best Supporting Character. So we used to have Best Boy and Best Girl. Now we have Best Main Character. Or we had Best Antagonist and Protagonist. Now it's Best Main Character, Best Supporting Character, and Must Protect at All Costs Character, which is the Best Boy, Best Girl categories. I'm glad that we've removed gender from these. It just works better. Fern, of course, and Himmel, and Jinshi, and Seiko, and Senshi, and Turbo Granny. I think the multiple characters from multiple things are going to be... look, I think I could see Grandma here, Psycho, pulling this out. But to me, everybody loves Senshi. Everybody loves Senshi, and they're right for loving Senshi. I think Fern is great. Himmel's a fun nominee, even though I don't think he's going to win there. But also, Senshi is great, and I could see that happening. Also... general people know who voiced that in the English dub, and people really like Sungwon. So I could see that. And then Must Protect at all costs character. Anya, who kind of is one of the reasons why this category exists. Frieren, which is weird. What we're changing up here. Oko Run, Senshi, Hojo from Elusive Samurai, and Yuki from Sound of Affection. To me, it's Anya or Yuki. The Must Protect at All Costs is the replacement for the Best Boy, Best Girl category. And it is the character, that you just want to look out for. I could see actually, God, what's his name? We're going to go back to main characters here. Sung Jin-woo, early Sung Jin-woo, not what he becomes, who he was at the beginning. You got to protect him. I think he should have been nominated for this category. But for me, it's Anya or maybe Yuki Jose. But Anya rules, and Anya must be protected. Frieren does not need your protection. What are we doing here? I don't think Senshi really does either, but whatever. Senshi rules as well. I could see Senshi winning this as well. Best Anime Song, Abyss from Kaiju number 8, which I like. And remember, Anime Song is not part of opening sequence or ending sequence. That also takes account the animation. This is just song, which can be an insert song or an opening theme or a closing theme. Bling Bang Bang Born, Fatal, Level, Otonoko, and The Brave. It's a meme for a reason. I don't think we're going to see Mashal at anything, really winning anything here. But Bling Bang Bang Born was a huge deal. Of the Nokotan, I could see showing up in the opening song, the Nokotan song as well. But this song moved the needle. It got people to check out a show that the second season hadn't really done particularly well, but people were really invested in this song. I think as far as an anime song goes, it's a no-brainer. I do think that I am somewhat surprised that we don't see anything more. I thought we might see more songs from Oshinoko, but we'll see them in later categories. But yeah, this is where you give it to this song because people immediately know it and they go, "Oh, I know that song. Heck yeah!" Best Score: Bleach, Thousand Year Blood War, The Conflict, Dan to Dan, Demon Slayer, Solo Leveling, Look Back, and Frieren. The atmospheric score in Frieren is top tier. It's an easy win for me. I do think Look Back has a cool soundtrack, and Dan to Dan has some good interstitial music. But for me, it's Frieren. That's an easy choice. I'm trying to keep this video under 30 minutes, and we're not going to be able to do it. It's going to be over 30. But my goal was to be that, but I don't think it's going to happen. Best opening sequence: Abyss from Kaiju number 8, Bling Bang Bang Born from Mashal. Shoutouts to Creepy Nuts. Fatal from Oshinoko. Level from Solo Leveling. Otonoke from Dan to Dan. So that's 2 Creepy Nuts songs. And Oos from One Piece. I would have put my dear friend Nokotan in here because the song was really catchy. It was also a meme. It's really fun. I think the opening is really fun and nonsense. The lyrics make no sense on purpose. And it's really good. I think Bling is going to win because, again, it was a meme. It was a meme song. And I thought it was pretty good. Whereas I think Level is just fine. It's pretty epic, but I think you go with the Mashal opening. Ending sequence. We've got from Ranwo and Half, Anton, which is good. Burning from Oshinoko Season 2. Kamakura Style from The Elusive Samurai. Taidada from Science Stars Dan to Dan. Request from Solo Leveling. And Nobody from Kaiju number 8. I would have liked to see nominated Calliope Mori's song Go Getters from the Isekai, the Suicide Squad Isekai. I would have seen that. That would have gotten a huge audience vote because Calliope Morphe is a very popular VTuber for Hololive. So that would have definitely gotten a lot of voting. Maybe that would have been bad. Of the ones nominated, I'm going with Dan because a fucked up thing will happen, a fucked up cliffhanger will happen, and that song plays, and you're like, yeah, right. I just think it's good. It's a good ending sequence. I'm happy to see Ranma 1/2 get nominated. That's also makes me happy. Best voice artist. So for this, I'm going to be having the Japanese and English are those ones I can vote for. There are other nominees available out there in other languages. We'll talk about those and when we talk about results. If your primary language that you're watching Crunchyroll in is not Japanese or English for dubs, if you're, Portuguese dubs or Spanish dubs or Arabic, you have other options, and congratulations to you. And I apologize that my guide can't completely give you those. Our voice performances here, again, these used to be gendered. They are non-gendered now, which is great. We love that. We've got Ayo Yuki for Apothecary Diaries. We have Atsumi Tanzaki for Frieren. Kenichi Suzumura for Brave Bang Braveren. And I guess that could have been for Best Original. That would have been kind of cool. Shino Wakayama for Momo. Sayaku Senbongi for Marcel. And Natsuki Hana for Oko Run. For me, anyway, it's probably the Frieren because it's just it's a subtle but really strong performance. But I also could see Science Saru picking this up. I could see Momo picking that up. I think this is a good category. The nominees are solid for it. And here we go. Best Voice Artist Performance English. We have... let me just get that in there. So get AJ Beckles as Oko Run. Alex Lee as Sung Jin Woo. Jesse James Grail as Amir, because Attack on Titan, the final season, the final chapter, Special 2, fits in there. And I'm so proud of us so proud of us in general that it did not get nominated for other things. I'm very happy. Malor Rodek for Frieren. Mallory, I should say. Mallory. Sero Natacheni as Anya. Alia, so for Alia sometimes hides her feelings in Russian. You may know Sarah Natacheni as the voice of Ash Ketchum for most of the run of Pokemon. She was not the original, she was the second when they switched who had the license for it. But ever since, Sarah is born in Russia, speaks Russian fluently, made a lot of sense as the voice actress for this. But the winner is going to be Sungwon Cho for Senshi in Delicious in Dungeon. It's Sungwon Cho. It's Sungwon Cho. It's going to be Sungwon Cho. So that's it for this. We went through it 30-something minutes. I'm going to wrap this up here. I'll be back with my normal videos soon. I will be doing my look at every isekai in the spring 2025 season, letting you know which ones I'm watching, which ones I'm not watching, and which ones I might watch. We'll see. You have until April 14th at 11:59 p.m. Pacific time. I have linked in the show description of this video the link to the Anime Awards so you can vote. I'm going to go through again and vote officially, but I didn't want to do that on camera. So thank you very much for watching this, and I hope this helped you. Bye-bye.